EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for February 18th, 2019. For your Monday, we're going to start off with cloudy skies this morning in the wake of the system that affected us overnight. This is, of course, the system that brought us that light wintry mix nonsense last night. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough to cause some disruptions across our northern areas. That will just be cloudy this morning, and then maybe a leftover snow shower in some spots, but it looks like for the most part we're just cloudy, and then we're going to have clouds give way to sun as we get later in the day, and then we're going to head to a mostly clear night overnight. So it will turn breezy a little bit this afternoon, nothing over the top, but it looks like a little bit breezy this afternoon as that cold air starts to advect into the region, and we're going to be cold tonight, upper teens to low 20s across the region, and we'll be in the 40s today for highs before that happens, and that front moves through. And, of course, we're going to drop off after that point. Once we get into Tuesday, we're mostly sunny. High pressure is going to settle right over top of the region, and this is going to be a very important role player in the next system coming in, which is down here. And that's going to be our Wednesday system. So this right here, high pressure is going to settle. This is actually looking at Tuesday afternoon. It's going to actually slowly drift off in this direction, but still close enough to be a player with this Wednesday system. I think you're going to get into some pretty good snow at the onset of this with this system, and it could have some frontogenesis involved. I'll get into what that means here in a second. So we're starting to see the global models. It's always been you're going to have snow in the front end, then going to sleet, freezing rain, and then possibly rain. That's always been the forecast since I did the video last on Friday night for Saturday. The same concept is going on here now, but we're starting to see the short-range models come into play, which are mesoscale models, and mesoscale models will pick up on frontogenesis. And that is basically where, there's more that goes into it, but there's an area of snow here on the front end, and very strong lift and rapidly rising motion in the atmosphere is where the point at which the cold air and the warm air meet. So you can call that's a thermal gradient, but there's also warm air advection aloft going on. But you have this high pressure that's still here supplying the cold air. So you have these two mechanisms working against each other, and where they meet in the middle, right in here, is where you get that heavy thump of snow. This is all going to be moving off to the north and east, but the global models are not going to pick up on this as well. This is the GFS, so it's not going to be able to pick on those kind of dynamics at the lower levels. So this is going to start off with snow. Question is going to be, what area gets the biggest thump of snow? Right now I'm favoring these areas right in here for that big thump of snow. Can that be further northeast? Absolutely. That's what the short-range models will start to hone in on over the next 48 hours or so. So this is going to be something we're going to be adjusting to. And where that best forcing occurs will be where the heaviest snow bands are. And you're going to actually have some rates here for about 4 to 6 hours of snow at a 1 to 2 inch an hour rate. So if you remember back to the first storm of the season, November 16th, and we had all that snow, it was only snowing for 4 or 5 hours. But it was coming down 1 to 2 inches an hour, so you got a lot of snow in a very short amount of time. This is that kind of same kind of concept that we're dealing with here, but then it does go over to sleet, freezing rain. It might not be as much, though, if the latest models are correct, at least the mesoscale models. But you see that transition as we get to Wednesday evening. And then the GFS here is indicating there's going to be rain overnight. I wouldn't trust this, though, because the last storm we had that was, last Monday night and Tuesday, it also suggested everything would turn to rain, and it didn't. It didn't figure on the cold air hanging tough at the surface like it usually does, and we had a lot less parts of the area having a rain changeover. We went to just like sleet, freezing rain, and that was pretty much it. So we're going to watch that closely too. But here is that. Here's looking at early Wednesday morning. You see that band setting up here at the onset. And watch what this does as we move forward. Here's 10 a.m., here's 1 p.m., and you get some really heavy snow. Really heavy snow. This is a simulated radar off the 12-kilometer dam. You can see some pretty heavy snow going on here. Again, where that frontogenesis occurs, or where that boundary meets each other. Here's a better look at that frontogenesis I was talking about. This is looking at the 700 millibar level, which is about 10,000 feet up in the atmosphere, and you have a very, very strong upward rising motion here. Or if you're under this band here, this column here, you're getting smoked with heavy snow. Very heavy precipitation falling as snow. And that's going to continue off to the north and east here. And looks like it's going to get areas further north and east as well. But again, I still favor, if we go back to where we just were, where did I go back to? Let me see. Go back to here. I think your best forcing right now, if I had to make a call, I'd say your best snows are going to be in this area, right in here, because of that, and not farther northeast. You might not get 1 to 2 inch an hour up here rates. You could just get maybe an inch an hour, which is still pretty heavy. But your heaviest snowfall totals might end up being down here because of that 1 to 2 inch per hour rates as that's coming through. Whether that holds for the northeast remains to be seen. Of course, it's something we're going to be watching over the next several days. And here is the 3 kilometer NAM. This only goes to 60 hours in the future, so I don't have the full scope of this, but this is what it looks like at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. And it all of this down here. This is Virga nonsense, but all this down here is heavy snow, and this would be moving up in this direction like this, presumably. So we have to watch this very closely and see what areas are going to get hit the hardest, but there could be some very heavy rates involved with this, and we're going to continue to watch that over the next several days. We will have a first call on this most likely as long as this holds on Monday evening or Monday afternoon about 5 o'clock today. We'll look for that on the weather alerts page. So this system is going to move away. Before I get to that, I want to get back to the NAM just to show you what this is doing. It's changing everything over to like scattered light freezing rain here as we get into Wednesday evening. And then it just gets more spotty overnight. So there's no changeover here. This is looking at overnight Wednesday night, and the temperature 32-degree line is still right here, which would mean everything up here, anything falling up in this area would be frozen. So this is definitely colder than the GFS is suggesting. So we're going to not really bank on this changing over to just all plain rain in every area like this is indicating. But we'll continue to monitor that closely. Tuesday looks like it's another cloudy day, cloudy and mostly cloudy in the afternoon. And then we're going to turn partly cloudy here by Friday. We have another system that's going to be off to our south that probably comes in here on Saturday night or Sunday and brings us more rain, Saturday night to Sunday. This one's going to be rain, though. I don't think we're dealing with wintry precipitation with this one. It's coming at a time in our long range that we projected temperatures to be slightly above average, and we actually have temperatures that are going to be well into the 40s, maybe in some 50s when this rolls in. So I don't expect this one to be frozen, but we'll continue to monitor that just in case. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for February 18th, 2019. Have a great Monday.